Right, let's get the old git. She says, saying 47 years old. Go away, don't like F1. Well, let us invite the fucking... What the fuck? Jimspeak. Ah! Come on over, Bursty boy. Hello, Sly Loris. Rejoice, comrades. Sly Loris in the chat. Let's see if I can coax Jim over. This is his birthday present. He can call the shots tonight. We do love him. He is a great mod. Ta-da! Let's bring my chat up, shall we? Oh, bring my chat up on my phone as well. Da-da-da-da-da. Yes, I know I'm live. Yeah. Make sure you've got the volume down, you numpty. What's that? What the problem? Thank you. Comrade of mine has just given me a gift sub to Iron Gullet. Ta-da! Twitch chat on phone. Let's just go to my channel. Go. Ta-da! Hello, Jim. Happy birthday. You better be drunk. Yep, bring up my dashboard here as well. Yes, I know I'm live, Twitch. I'm not a numpty. You're welcome. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Got it. Fantastic. Ooh, Punages is live. Boom. Standard birthday video. Incoming. Yeah. Where is it? Stream videos. Playlist. Stream. Give me the playlist. God, YouTube sucks. These two.
Sometimes life gives you lemons and you make lemonade. And sometimes life gives you Nazis. And you depose them before they form a radical death called ethnostate. Have a glorious day.
What?
Dinosaur on unicycle playing the bagpipes. How much concentration is that? Carry on, dude. To a Satanist, the holiest day of his own person. I love that. Yeah. Brilliant, isn't it? You're not the only Satanist I know now. Praise be Red Jester Productions. They are also a Satanist. Shit. New Mexico. Everyone, go and follow Red Jester. They are awesome. Home. What would Sir like? Chat. No, it's just Red Jester Productions. Some my fool always struggle with that. I just call them Jester, or them Jester. Easier. I was over in Red Rust's channel earlier on. They are a bassist. They are fucking awesome. They played a couple of Bad Religion songs. Michael Askew. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. How are you tonight? Some refreshment. Crap, I never actually checked. I don't know if you bought a ticket for tonight or not. Give me a minute, would you please? If it is anywhere, it'll be in the book. Do we have ticket for tonight, my dear? Oh, it's the right one. Right. Ooh, we do indeed. Careful there. Yeah, careful. Ooh. Boom. Go. Hopefully I'll not get cucked. Ah. Slightly different lyrics, by the way. Absolutely. Like, they did a bit, yeah. Been a while. Good choice, Jim. Good choice. Yeah, yeah. The entire soundtrack for the film is fucking amazing. Another streamer had it in their Discord. We watched it. Now it was the first time I'd seen it, and I thought, what the fuck? Just brilliant. Oh my god. They actually had the professor on. Ooh. Eh? Ah, I want to save that. God damn it. Ginger Wildheart has aggressive looking. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if you're talking about. Yeah. Each to their own, but if that was me, I'd be taking the treatment. Yeah. Super Hobby tells me about stuff he thinks I might be interested in. It is, yeah. Mm. Would you like anything political wise, Jim? Or we can do fun if you want. Entirely up to your good self. No. Give me a second. Thank you for that one. I'll need to look that one up on my YouTube music later on. Have you not? No problem. We'll find out together. What be this? YouTube, stop sucking.
Now you can go. Go take your briefcase, go take your Al Jazeera equipment and go. No one needs Al Jazeera.
You don't decide
here.
when
No
I
one
stay
wants
when I
Al
leave.
Jazeera over here.
You don't decide
No
when I
one
stay
wants
when I
your people in the office
So
can
don't
change
attack
it.
me.
Yeah, but your people,
Don't
the people
attack
you
me.
work for, the people
Don't
you work
attack
for,
me.
the people
Don't
you work.
attack
I don't
me.
know
Go
who you
and
are.
attack them.
I don't know who you work
Don't
for.
go and attack
I
them.
don't know
Don't
about
attack
you,
them.
but I know who
An
to
entity
go.
that
Al
has
Jazeera should
questionable
go.
motives.
Go back to Qatar. Go back.
Yes.
Oscar.
You represent an entity that has questionable motives, and by association,
امشي من هون يا حمار.
You're talking.
امشي من هون.
Or you will be moved.
Don't be violent. امشي من هون يا حمار. يا كلب. I'm calm. لا امشي من هون. امشي من هون يا حمار يا كلب. يا كلب روح من هون. روح من هون. روح من هون. لا مالو. لا مالو. أنا لا خمر. أنت خمر. أنا خمر. I'm walking.
Al Jazeera is not wanted here. Please move on. You're placing fear in the...
Now you can go. Go take your briefcase, go take your Al Jazeera equipment and go. No one needs Al
You don't
Jazeera
decide
here.
when
No
I
one
stay,
wants
when I
Al
leave.
Jazeera over here.
You don't decide
No
when I
one
stay,
wants
when I
your people in the office
So
can
don't
change
attack
it.
me.
Yes, but your people,
Don't
the people
attack
you
me.
work for, the people
Don't
you work
attack me.
for, the people
Don't
you work.
attack
I don't
me.
know
Go
who you
and attack
are.
them.
I don't know who you
Don't
work
go
for.
and attack
I
them.
don't know
Don't
about
attack
you,
me.
but I know who
an
to go.
entity that
Al
has
Jazeera should go.
questionable motives.
Go back to Qatar. Go back.
Oscar.
You represent an entity that has questionable motives, and by association,
امشي من هون يا حمار.
You're talking.
امشي من هون.
Or you will be moved.
Don't be violent. امشي من هون يا حمار. يا كلب. I'm calm. لا امشي من هون. امشي من هون يا حمار يا كلب. يا كلب روح من هون. روح من هون. روح من هون. لا مالو. لا مالو. أنا لا خمر. أنت خمر. أنا خمر. I'm walking.
Al Jazeera is not wanted here. Please move on. You're placing fear in the community.
Out of here.
Out of here, Al Jazeera. You're not wanted.
Al Jazeera out. We don't need Al Jazeera over here.
go home! Go home!
Go home.
Al Jazeera off our streets!
Go home.
Go home!
How they came in October 7th. They came with a master.
He wants to go. He knows the reality of the truth. Time to move on.
So are we committing an offence by being here? Are they committing an offence by harassing us when we're trying to work? They are. De facto, they are trying to stop us.
They're reporting the news.
Right. Oh god. Hell sight. Go away.
No one wants Al Jazeera over here. No one wants your people in the office to change it.
Al Jazeera off our streets!
امشي من هون يا حمار.
We don't feel safe.
Now you can go. Go take your briefcase, go take your Al Jazeera equipment and go. No one needs Al Jazeera here. No one wants Al Jazeera over here. No one wants your people in the office to
Don't
change
attack
it.
me.
Yes, but your people,
Don't
the people
attack
you
me.
work for, the people
Don't
you work
attack
for,
me.
the people
Don't
you work.
attack
I don't
me.
know
Go
who
and
you
attack
are.
me.
I don't know who you work
Don't
for.
attack me.
I don't know about you, but I know who to go. Al Jazeera should go away.
Motives.
Go back to Qatar. Go back.
You represent an entity that has questionable motives, and by association,
امشي من هون يا حمار.
You're talking.
امشي من هون.
Or you will be moved.
Don't be violent. امشي من هون يا حمار. يا كلب.
What the fuck?
لا امشي من هون.
They are allowed to operate here, by the way.
يا كلب روح من هون. روح من هون. روح من هون. لا مالو. لا مالو. أنا لا خمر.
Copyright for once. Yeah.
Al Jazeera is not wanted here. Please move on. You're placing fear in the community.
Out of here.
Out of here, Al Jazeera. You're not wanted.
Al Jazeera out. You don't need Al Jazeera over here.
Go home!
Cooked.
Al Jazeera, off our streets!
That's nice, yelling in someone's ear. Tad aggressive, yes.
So are we committing an offence by being here? Are they committing an offence by harassing us when we're trying to work?
Oh, you want to go?
De facto they are trying to stop us.
They're reporting the news.
We don't want them to report.
Then you can raise that.
We feel threatened. Don't make these guys drop harder.
At this point here, just want people to move on. If you have an issue, raise it in the appropriate channel. We're doing it here on a day like today. This is the right place.
Raising with you, we feel threatened Al Jazeera being here. Yes. Al Jazeera being here is threatened. We feel threatened. We don't feel safe. The reporting is going to go to potential terrorists. That's what we don't want to see down our street.
Really?
So,
What the fuck?
so for our safety, please remove them from the street.
They have every right to...
I can't define my own racism. I can't define my own racism. Don't tell me what's racism against me and what's not. Don't tell me what's racism
Shame
against
on
me.
you.
Shame on Al Jazeera.
Yeah. Christ almighty. Fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Like, they've reported up here. Mostly to do with the fire down in Central Station. Edward Sexby! Hello. Welcome, welcome. Oh, great to see you. Rejoice! Flow Snake is here. Hi, Flow Snake. Orvin Eel. Yes, happy birthday to Jim indeed. On you go. I have the YouTube here. And the Twitch here. Just let me know what you would like. I'll just bring up, right. I can get rid of that one now. YouTube. Praise be Flow Snake. Yeah. Oh god, that fucking video. Oh, right. Yeah. They all can speak English. They live here in Britain. And they live in London, for fuck's sake. Of course they can speak fucking English. And I will say this as a prerequisite, English is garbage. Sorry. Oh, oh, do. Have I got that twice? Numpty. Da 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 da. Go. Oh.
What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now?
The whole community is anti-Zionist. The majority of Jews are anti-Zionist.
They're looking at us as we speak. Look, they're pointing at us now, look. You can see them pointing at us.
What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now? Sorry. You don't know?
I do know, but I don't want to share my thoughts.
Do you like Israel or?
Sure, I'm Jewish.
Palestine are always the one to kill, to murder, to make terrorists. It's always coming out.
Israel are the ones that kill the babies, though.
No, they kill the ones that they need to kill.
Today I went to 2 areas in London with large Jewish communities. Golders Green and Stamford Hill. I didn't go there to target anyone. I didn't go there to provoke anyone. And I didn't go there to push an agenda. I wanted to ask Jewish people how they personally felt about the genocide in Gaza and also the wider situation in the Middle East. There's a common assumption online that all Jewish people think the same about Israel. So I went there to see if it was true. Excuse me, mate. Would you like to answer a few questions by any chance? Excuse me, mate. Excuse me. Would you like to answer a few questions by any chance? Excuse me. Excuse me. Would you like to answer a few questions by any chance? No worries. We're doing a documentary about like world politics and things like that.
No, I don't know much about politics.
Oh, okay. Enjoy your day. Thank you. So guys, we've already been out there for 3 hours and it's very, very hard. We haven't had a single person talk to us. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to walk directly up to the synagogue and just try and talk to them. I mean, we haven't got any problem with Jewish people. We've got problems with the people that support the state of Israel and the genocide on the Palestinians. We just want to ask them some questions, that's all. I don't know what their problem is. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Would you like to answer a few questions, Simon?
I wish I have
No worries, man. Have a good day. Excuse me, man. Would you like to answer some questions, Simon?
What am I going on?
We're just doing a YouTube documentary, really, about what's going on in the world. Like, there's a lot of wars and things like that.
I'll be honest with you. Probably going to take out context, edit it, do your own thing. I've seen those videos you just flying around, so sorry. I appreciate that. I'll probably find someone else.
Yeah. So guys, we've come to one of the Jewish capitals of the UK, and we've only asked a couple of people questions, and they're all acting very suspicious. As you can see over there, they're looking at us as we speak. They seem to be getting on radios. Look, they're pointing at us now. Look, you can see them pointing at us. I mean, all we're trying to do is ask the public some questions, you know. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be a tough video, guys. Let's go. The majority of people I approached did not want to speak. Excuse me, what's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now? Sorry? What's your... Oh, okay. Some said that there was a language barrier. What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine?
Not speaking English.
Oh, you're not English. Have a good day though, yeah? Some said that they didn't know enough. What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine? You don't know? No worries. Have a good day though, yeah? Excuse me, man. What's your thoughts about what's going on with Israel and Palestine right now?
I don't follow news.
You're not into it, no?
No.
Have a good day though, man. And many clearly knew what I was asking, but they still chose not to comment. What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now?
What's that?
Palestine. That silence is a part of this story too. What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now?
I'm married.
Not because anyone owes me an answer. What's your thoughts on what's going on over in Palestine right now? No worries, man. But because it shows how sensitive and heavy this topic has become. What do you think about the Israel and Palestine conflict?
What do I think about it? I think it's shit, isn't it? We're having a genocide happening in the world, and then there is me and you here being able to do this interview talking like nothing is happening around.
I know.
It's shit.
Yeah.
But there is not much that I can say.
Are you from this area?
I live around this area, yes.
Yeah. A lot of people around here, they don't seem to want to talk to us. I don't know why.
It does make sense. I mean, it's, probably they feel a certain kind of way. Imagine if you were seeing your people killing other people and not being able to actually do nothing about it. Now you have thousands of other people questioning you, and you just feel bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's human at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Not all Jewish people support Israel. There's a lot that don't, but I feel like they get like the wrong impression of like people like me coming over and asking questions. But
I mean, they're really private people. They wouldn't talk to you regardless most of the time. If it isn't for the fact that they're selling you something or anything like that. They stay between them. So I don't know. I think I don't know. I wouldn't read too much into it.
Yeah, no worries. And one last thing: if there was one thing we could do to achieve world peace, what do you think it would be?
Or if we were everybody focusing on ourselves instead of what everybody else has, probably we wouldn't be so greedy.
Yeah, exactly. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and focus on our own country. Very great. I'll let you get on because it's very bad weather. Have a good day though, yeah?
Correct, Flow Snake, yeah.
What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now? Sorry. You don't know?
I do know, but I don't want to share my thoughts.
Okay, we're just trying to build a documentary, that's all. There's no like agenda, we just want to hear. Can I ask you a few questions, please? What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine right now?
I don't know, I'm not involved in politics.
What's your thoughts on what's going on over in Palestine right now? What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine? What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine? What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine? What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine? What's your thoughts about what's going on with Israel and Palestine?
What?
Israel and Palestine?
Yeah, it's nothing to do with me, okay?
You know the conflict there?
No idea.
No. What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine?
I don't know if you use the moment. I've got an appointment.
No worries, have a good day. What's your thoughts on what's going on over in Palestine right now?
Just big regression, sorry.
Oh, no worries, have a good day. So guys, we have to just quickly go and take a break. Because for some reason, a lot of these guys are very hostile towards us. I mean, honestly, there's no secret agenda. We just want to hear what the Jewish people think about the Israel and Palestine conflict and really just Israel as a whole. We're getting a lot of angry people. I mean, we haven't been able to get all the clips, but a lot of the times when we stop recording, we get them shouting stuff up the road at us, calling us like terrorist supporters and things like that. But we haven't actually said that we support anyone. We're just genuinely asking asking them a question about Palestine. But yeah, so we're going to relocate, we're going to move down the road a little bit, we're going to have a little break, and then we're going to get back into the questions. So thank you for stopping by, man. How long have you lived in this local area for?
2 years.
2 years. Do you like it?
It's good, yeah, it's good. It's more like central, you know.
And what's your thoughts about the Israel and Palestine conflict?
Well, I think they should get along. It's better for both, you know, because you should do something that is, you know, it's very achievable, you know. It should be all good, you know. There's not lots of population, and they can live happy together, you know.
Yeah.
And plus, they're all one nation, you know. They all come from same people, you know, same, and it solves a lot of issues around the world, you know. And they should find a solution, you know.
Yeah. What country are you originally from?
I'm from Afghanistan.
Oh, Afghanistan, yeah. Yeah, because we done like a pointless war in Afghanistan, the UK, didn't we, for no reason?
Well, Afghanistan is, again, it's very political, but when it comes to Afghanistan, so we was encouraged to fight against the Soviet, and then after that there was no police, no government for a long time, civil war, and in Afghanistan you can't find a family that hasn't lost a life. Even the president, you know, he lost a brother, you know.
Yeah.
But it's okay, it happens, it's
that
normal.
was hostile, yeah.
But we should do something that, you know, it's better, you know, like achievable. And, yeah, I mean, it's all good, you know.
We all bleed like the same blood, you know, we're all humans.
We're all the same, yes, yeah. But sometimes you have to, you know, you have to think what you can do better, you know. There's always, forget what happened, think what you can do in future, you know. Like in Afghanistan, you know, it's better to, you know, to the government. I'm not very fan, you know, I was fighting against the government, but right now you have to make up to, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to accept the reality. I mean, if America is handed the power, you know, it's okay, but still they have to work on it, you know, the Taliban and Afghans, you know, to make it a peaceful country, you know. We all the same, you know, like you guys Christian and Muslim, you know. And I mean, we all the same, you know, we all come, like Jesus Christ is our prophet, you know,
Exactly.
so we love him.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good. You have to think logic.
Yeah, we can all get along, man. We're all human.
Definitely, why not? Yes, yeah.
No worries, man. That's pretty much all, but thank you very much for
You're very
stopping
welcome.
by, man. Now, before we go any further, it's important to say this clearly. Judaism is a religion. Zionism is a political ideology. They are not the same thing, and Jewish people do not all share the same beliefs about Israel or its actions. What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine right now?
What do you mean?
Like, there's a war going on.
Yeah.
What do you think about it all? Are you, like, do you have a side?
Regarding what?
Do you think there's any side in the wrong? Like, do you think Israel's wrong? Do you think Palestine's wrong?
Honestly, they're both wrong, because war was never good. Peace is always the good thing, but I mean, who's to know? I mean, there's loads of things that Israel's hiding, loads of things that Palestine's hiding. So, you know, they're both not right, they're both not wrong, and it's very hard to say.
And are you like a Zionist Jew? Because I know we've got...
No.
What type of Jew are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I just believe in the Jewish religion.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was born here, that's it.
Now, these voices rarely get shown. What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine?
Yeah, I don't have...
Do you know anything about it, or...?
Not really. We don't have smartphone, we don't have television, we don't have...
Oh, really? How long...
Radio. Nothing we do.
Nothing? How long have you lived in this area?
All the years.
Many years? Yeah. Yeah, you like it here?
I like it.
It's like, well, we've not...
Nothing to be like, nothing to be unlike.
Yeah.
We're here.
It's quite like a nice area. There's not a lot of crime around here. Seems friendly.
Normal
Yeah.
people is always good.
Yeah. No worries, man. Well, I hope you enjoy your day anyway, man. They're often drowned out by louder and more extreme narratives on both sides. What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now?
The whole community is anti-Zionist.
Oh, you're not... Yeah, because that's what that's what we're trying to prove today.
What?
That's what we're trying to prove today, because we believe that not all Jews actually agree with what's going on in Israel. A few people do, but I think...
Very little people. The majority of Jews are anti-Zionist.
Oh, that's good. So what type of Jew are you?
Orthodox Jews.
Orthodox Jews.
Most Orthodox Jews are anti-Zionist.
Yeah, so you think that it's not good what's going on over there? You don't support like the Israeli government and things like that?
No.
Well, that's good to hear, man. And because have you heard that they're sort of trying to push for a war with Iran as well?
Yes.
Which I think is only going to push us closer to a world war.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. And one last thing, really. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have you heard about the Epstein files coming out?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it true that Epstein worked for
Hi, John.
Mossad in Israel?
I don't know what...
I never saw you there.
Sorry
Sorry about that.
KGB.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of... You can't really...
Yeah,
we can't really tell.
Yeah.
No worries, man. But free Palestine, man. Have a good day. Thank you, brother. So as you can see, guys, not every Jew actually supports Israel, which is good to hear. I mean, this documentary, we've got no agenda. We're just genuinely trying to ask people, you know, what they think about what's going on over there. A lot of people seem to take it the wrong way, but of course there's guys like that. Seem like a nice guy. But yeah, hopefully we can get some more responses. I know it's raining today, so it's made it a little bit harder, but we're going to keep trying anyway. Excuse me. What's your thoughts on what's going on over in Palestine right now? What? What's your thoughts about what's going on in Palestine? Palestine? Israel? You know them? What's your thoughts about what's going on between Israel and Palestine?
But no understand very well English.
Oh, you're not English. Have a good day. What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now? Excuse me, man. Would you like to answer some questions by any chance? Excuse me. Would you like to answer some questions by any chance? No. Have a good day, though, yeah? Excuse me. Would you like to answer some questions by any chance?
What type of questions? I'm in the middle of work now, so...
Just 1 minute of your time. We're just asking about like, what's going on in the world right now. There's a lot of chaos going on.
Right. You have to make an appointment for that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. What's your thoughts about what's going on over in Palestine right now?
I've got no idea. That doesn't interest me. I'm living here, what do I care about Palestine?
You don't care about?
What's my difference?
what's going on in Israel. Let them live. They know how to get on.
Do you like Israel? Or?
Sure, I'm Jewish.
But just because you're Jewish doesn't mean you have to support Israel, surely.
No, Israel is the Palestinians are always the one to kill, to murder, to make terror, terrorists. It's always coming out of
Israel the ones that kill the babies, though.
But they're not the ones that don't kill people. Just
Yeah, they do. They kill 30,000 at least, minimum.
No, they kill the ones that they need to kill.
No. They don't. What
the fuck?
You don't want to say anything else?
Oh, what am I talking to?
Huh?
Who are you?
My name's Jay.
No.
Oh no, it's just we're doing a documentary. You want to talk? So guys, as you can see, all it took was one question about Palestine, and they're all looking. Look over there, guys. Turn the camera out. Ah. So yeah, guys, as you can see, a simple question about Palestine, and this is how we're getting a reaction. I mean, me personally, I don't think all Jews support what's going on in Israel, but these are the type of people that do give them a bad name. I'm not going to lie to you. We're just trying to do a documentary really and ask the Jewish population what they think about it, but it's like as soon as you ask one question, this is how they react. I mean, turn around and look again, like, honestly, like, what is this? Now I want to be clear about my own position on this. Personally, I believe what's happening in Gaza is a genocide. But I didn't go into this video assuming everyone here agreed with me, because that wouldn't be honest journalism. This wasn't about catching people out. It was about seeing how divided, complex and emotional this issue really is. A lot of people didn't say no angrily. They said it quietly. And that raises another question. How many people stay silent, not because they don't care, but because they're afraid of backlash? Afraid of being labelled. Afraid of saying the wrong thing in the moment where nuance feels impossible. Now this was an extremely hard video to put together. As you can see, many people refused to give me an answer. So it was very hard to put together a long video. Some oppose Israel, and some support them. But it's clear that they all have very different views. As always, if you want to help support the video any further, you can check the donation links in the description below. And if you like the video, remember to drop a like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for many more videos. Thank you all for watching.
You might, yeah. I would never do that. If any Jewish people would like to speak, feel free to. I would not go around harassing people like that. A bit dangerous. And a bit forceful. Yeah. Yeah, there is a good few of them now, isn't there? Don't get me wrong, Tom's done it, but he's well enough known to actually be able to do that kind of stuff. And all the ones you've seen him do, he always gets permission before actually turning the camera on. I do so love Tom Nicholas. Brilliant content creator, obviously. Still only got two over here. Ah. Oh. Ooh, whoops. Hang on. It was that one, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. There we go. I don't know why I keep on looking there for you, Jim. You're here. Louis, what are you holding up? Oh, it's beef. Yeah. Mr. Speak. What else would you like? Say happy birthday to Jim, everyone. He's old now. Says the 47-year-old. Ah, there we go. Watch later. Thank you. Fuck it, do we want to laugh again? This one has it's been a bit since we've watched this one.
AI furry content slop is what the Labour Party believe is going to get them down with the kids, spelt with a Z of course, because that's what kids like, they like Zs, on the TikToks, on the Clock app.
Also noticed the Dussy on that one. Just saying. Who is this for? Who is this for?
Like, I thought things as far as politicians and political parties on TikTok couldn't get any worse than Ed Davey saying 1v1 me in FIFA, Keir Starmer. I didn't think it'd get any worse than this, but actual AI content slop really does take the cake.
I don't know what this is other than the desperate flailings of a government that do not know what's going on.
It's a media strategy that no one understands. Like, what the hell is going on? Again, you're right. Who is this appealing to? Because at least with the Ed Davey 1v1 me in FIFA, there are people in there who are taking it in good spirits and good jokes. And if you wanted to have political messaging that was showing the things you were doing in government, because that's what this is trying to say, look at all these policies that we have, then surely you do it in a way that people wouldn't think was incredibly fucking minimal effort and also weird.
Just very weird. We don't need the buff animals. This is kink stuff. Look at it.
It's furry. It's furry porn.
Pat McFadden's secret furry.
In fucking knee-length cut-offs, feet exposed naturally. Like, this is just. It's very, very strange.
It's all a bit of Zootopia, isn't it? There's a serious part to this as well, in that one of the founding principles of the Labour Party is fighting for working people. And you'd think that someone who's there to represent art and artists as part of the labour force, they wouldn't want to prioritise methods of content creation that are there to take away the jobs of artists, which is what AI is for.
The only person I think would like this is Tony Blair.
I mean,
that's Tony Blair and his obsession with AI. That's it. That's who this is for.
Oh, 100%. I absolutely agree with you on this. And remember, another serious point to add to this is that I don't know if you watched the liaison committee just before parliamentary recess over Christmas.
I did, yes.
And one of the questions that was asked in the liaison committee by one of the members of parliament was about the fact that Keir Starmer has all of these links to big AI tech firms. And he wants to give all of this space for AI investment in data centers in the country, which are, of course, first of all, there's the environmental concerns of the amount of energy that they use, which are going to push up demand, which is going to push up a load of prices for energy because demand is higher overall. If we're just throwing energy, data centers, which is also bad for the environment because we're still using fossil fuels to generate at least part of that. And on top of that, he even was asked specifically in the select committee about legislation to protect artists from having their work stolen, where professional bodies, unions representing artists, had said officially, we want the government to put laws in place to stop AI networks from stealing our content. And Keir Starmer could not commit to supporting that kind of legislation, because of course that would undermine his big business backers in fucking tech bro world who want to be able to cannibalize artwork for their AI slop. Unite represents nurses and doctors who are affiliated to the Labour Party. The ASLEF and the TSSA are both rail network unions that are affiliated to the Labour Party. GMB represents construction workers who are going to be involved in green energy who are affiliated to the Labour Party. If you wanted to promote all of these different policies that you've got, you could at least get people who represent the working people that you say you represent of those sectors of the economy in your content slot for TikTok. And they can't even find them. They have to AI generate badges to replace them. Some Labour Party, we have an incredibly important update on Labour's AI content slot that they posted on TikTok yesterday. They've had to take it down. And not out of embarrassment. They're not taking it down because they realise it makes them look totally unserious to post AI furry content slop and try and pass it off as electioneering. It's so much more funny than that. Labour has apologised and deleted the video after lyrics translated to punching a young girl's pussy and sit on a dick. This post is an adaptation of a viral social media trend and contains a mix of 2 music tracks. We acknowledge the translation of the lyrics are completely inappropriate. We apologise and the video has now been deleted. Are you enjoying the adults being in the room, chat? Are you enjoying proper adult politics? Grown-up politics being exhibited here by the adults within the Labour Party? They've gotten rid of the people who are the party of protest, not power. They've got rid of the unserious Trotskyists. And now only the serious grown-ups in the room are allowed into the upper Labour Party echelons. So much so that they can do their communications AI slot. With these genuine lyrics. Perfect combination is sex, beer and marijuana. The young girls are addicted. Everyone is enjoying the wave. Just a punch in the young girl's pussy. Brilliant. You'd have thought anyone who wanted like a minor amount of due diligence would want to check the lyrics of the songs that you were using in your viral content media. Only Labour can make Ed Davies' career as a TikToker less embarrassing. And as we pointed out on yesterday's show, like it was already more embarrassing than Ed Davey doing 1v1 me Kier on TikTok. It was even more embarrassing than that when it was just posting AI content slop. And now it's just like a full-blown embarrassment. Like a full-blown embarrassment. Especially galling for these to be the lyrics, which are, you know, bit pedo-y, when the biggest story in the media is about CSA. Yes, they didn't get Jess Phillips, the safeguarding minister, to check this one off, did they? Honestly, again, these are supposed to be the brightest brains in the Labour Party. These are supposed to be the people, according to Morgan McSweeney, who would make Labour the natural party of government, the communications masterclass we were going to get from the Labour right when they were in government. And honestly, it's so funny. Like, but it's not funny anymore. It should be funny, but it's just not funny anymore. It's just tragic now. Because again, it's all within the context of the fact that people who are genuinely good at communications at the top of the Labour Party, from the left, the young people who supported the party from 2015 to 2019, they had a really good online social media strategy. It's why Corbyn connected with so many people in 2017. And they've all been replaced by stooges from the Labour right. Again, from the Tony Blair Institute, who just were really big fans of AI. I couldn't imagine why. And so they've replaced all of their young budding media
I'm literally a communist.
faces with members of their established class, and they're shit at it. Just the kind of professionalism you expect from the Labour right. Brilliant stuff. Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership to just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Thank you, Helena. I have no idea what I've got in my, not history, wrong one. Wrong one. Watch later. Numpty. Hit the wrong one there. Oh god, I can get rid of loads of these. Yep, remove. Remove. Move. 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 God, how much stuff have I got in here? Christ almighty. Dear God. Move. Remove. Move. 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 The fucking hell. Remove. Move. Move. My God, this is... Christ, it's been a while since I've cleaned this lot out. Crying out loud. Yes. Remove. 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 Oh, hang on. Oh, bringing in more country, going out to other countries and stuff, and kicking off a revolution in those places is basically a fair part of it. So Trotsky thought he needed to get more countries on board. Essentially, just go out and start revolutions all over the fucking place. And different dialectics used. It's been a while. I've not been a Trotskyist for over 20 years at this point. Hang on. Nearly 30 actually. It's been 27 years since I was basically part of a Trotskyist grouping here in Glasgow. I was 20 when I got rescued by my best friend. Thank you, by the way, John, for that one. My friend John, here in Glasgow. Wrong pipe. Okay. Ugh. Just went down the wrong one there. Ow. Ouch. Christ, that fucking hurt. This video is sinister. Oh, hang on. Thought my lag was hanging off there. Just put this on for a second. Damn
it, Iran, open the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, fine. Oh, well, that was easy. To everyone except you and Israel. More bombs! I need more bombs! May we suggest de-escalating? What's the opposite of that? Escalating? That's what I'm gonna do. Oh no, then we surrender. Already? A French soldier has died. That is too much for us. It's not even that type of war yet. Well, we've just taken out Karg Island. How long have you actually known what that is? 15 minutes. Well, it's where 90% of Iran's oil gets exported from, so prices will go up even higher. Well, I already know what to do. No, you don't. You really don't. Not once have you ever known what to do. I'm gonna reduce oil prices by buying oil from, say the moon, say Wakanda, say anywhere except Russia. Fuck! Don't lift their sanctions, old boy. We're doing it until Iran surrenders, which will be never. I predict it'll be in either 2 weeks or 900 years. All you're doing is making Russia richer. 250 billion richer. Is now a bad time to add I'm against Ukraine? Is there a good time? In that 250 billion I can use on war with Ukraine. You said you need to feed poorer people and grow crops with that money. Oh yeah. There. Russia is getting weaker. We have them right where we want them. What do you know about winning wars? It's the same joke every week. And North Korea, why did you just fire 10 ballistic missiles? Cause it's a Saturday? So it's probably nothing. And China, why are you so quiet? You guys have fun destroying each other. I'm just over here becoming AI superpower. Man, would you be cooked if I had foresight. Your actions are increasing the likelihood of longer wars and making us all spend money on more defense. Yeah, well, me lowering oil prices is way more important than sending billions of dollars in military aid to Ukraine. That is so stupid. Why? Because lowering oil prices makes it look like I'm winning.
I'm saying nothing. How's that going for you, Donald? Christ. Oh. It hurts my head, it really fucking does. Home coins? Welcome to the 40 Club, Jim, by the way. Nothing materially changed for me, really. My health got worse, but my health's been getting worse for decades, so fuck it. Do you want to? I was going to watch that at some point during the stream anyway. And it is only 8 minutes long. Let's see what Richard has to say. Everyone, go and follow Richard, he's really good. His son is his main editor and videographer. And he's followed in his dad's footsteps. With more focus on tech. Carry on, Richard.
The UK says it's a democracy, but our electoral system is not actually designed to represent people. It's designed to produce winner-take-all politics. Under first past the post, millions of votes simply do not count. A party can win power even when most voters supported someone else. And that creates a political system where huge...
Edward, you're only a year younger than my super hubby. I do have a few older Gen Xers. I'm about as young as a Gen Xer can get, really. Born in 79. Yeah.
Huge numbers of people are effectively ignored. Today I want to explain why that happens, why proportional representation would change it, and why our current system is fundamentally incompatible with a politics of care where everyone matters. There is an uncomfortable truth about British democracy. Most MPs are elected by a minority of voters in their constituency. That means most people did not vote for the person representing them in Parliament, yet that MP still exercises 100% of the power of that seat. If that sounds strange for a democracy, it should, because it reveals the basic flaw in the system we use to choose governments. First past the post looks simple. That's its merit. That's why people cling on to it. The candidate with the most votes wins. But the key point is this. You don't need a majority to win any seat. you only need more votes than anyone else. In modern multi-party politics, MPs often win seats in the House of Commons with 35 to 40% of the vote. In July 2024, most Labour MPs got around 43% of the vote in the constituencies that they won, and sometimes much less. That means most voters did not choose Labour MPs in this country, yet Labour MPs won most of the representation in the House of Commons, and that distortion is more obvious nationally.
Yes. First past the post is utter garbage. Slightly better up here. Slightly. But Westminster votes suck. That's how I've got a Labour MP again. Fucking hell. And she's following the party line, which also sucks. Maureen, I hope you lose your fucking seat in 2029. Or before. We will find out. Depends how fucking dire it gets for Labour and government. And am I calling it? Do I feel safe enough yet? Fuck it. I don't think Keir Starmer will be party leader or prime minister at the next general election. I think it will be someone else. We will find out after May. See what happens. It is looking like an electoral bloodbath for them anyway, so ha ha ha.
Party can win a large parliamentary majority in this country with well under half of the votes cast. Again, let's look at Labour. In 2024, they won 33% of the national vote. Only 1/3 of the national vote was for a Labour candidate, and of the total number of registered voters, only 20% of people voted Labour. In other words, taking into consideration those who decided not to vote at all, just 1 in 5 people voted Labour. Despite that, they won 411 seats in the House of Commons, giving them a massive majority to do whatever they want, with which they've done nothing. But that's beside the point. The system is still at fault. They claim they have a national mandate as a result, but actually, most voters supported other parties and not Labour. This is not a proportional democracy. It's manufactured power created by the voting system designed to give a party dedicated to first past the post continual power in Parliament. The result is that first past the post wastes huge numbers of votes. Millions of people live in safe seats. I have done for most of my life. Those voters know that nothing they can do will change the results of elections. At the same time, parties can also win millions of votes nationally, but receive very few MPs. That's been the fate of the Liberal Democrats for decades. The consequence is simple. Large numbers of voters are effectively excluded from representation. And when people realise their votes don't matter, many people simply stop voting. And this is how democracy loses legitimacy. And then fascism creeps in through the back door. Legitimacy is essential if we are to defend democracy itself. The parliamentary voting system we have shapes the kind of politics we get. First past the post encourages adversarial politics, short-term thinking, and dramatic policy swings. We all know about parties coming into power and reversing the decisions of the previous one. And then the next government does it again. Long-term policy becomes extremely difficult to deliver. Governments work with 5-year time horizons. This is often presented as political stability, but it is in reality institutionalized political conflict. And there is nothing constructive about that. The irony is obvious. The parties that benefit most from first past the post are the ones who would have to change it. That's why reform isn't happening. Winner-take-all systems protect winner-take-all parties. But the democratic deficit remains, and over time that deficit has eroded trust in our politics. Proportional representation works differently. Seats in Parliament broadly reflect votes cast. For example, if a party wins 20% of the votes, broadly speaking, we would expect it to get 20% of the seats. And this is possible if we have MPs return for large constituencies of up to 10 MPs
More
per
likely,
area.
John.
That means fewer wasted votes, voters knowing that their support actually counts, and that representation becomes far closer to the reality of public opinion. PR changes political incentives in that case. Instead of trying to crush opponents, parties must work with others. They know that coalition governments will become normal. They know that compromise becomes necessary in the public interest, and that policy must become stable. That's the inevitable consequence. Many of the world's most successful democracies have and do operate in this way. So should we. Politics should not be about domination by a few political parties. It should be more about negotiation and cooperation in the public interest. So, democracy should not be about choosing rulers. It should be about representing society. A parliament should reflect the diversity of views in this country. At present, it does not reflect the level of support that reform have got. It's well known, I don't like reform, but it's wrong that reform has only a tiny number of MPs, most of them elected for other parties, when they do have significant support in the country as a whole. There is something fundamentally wrong with this first-past-the-post process that has suppressed that form of diversity. Under proportional representation, it would become visible, and those politicians who are elected would become accountable. And when people see themselves both represented and having members who are accountable, trust in democracy grows. That is how we build a politics of care. The UK's electoral system creates winner-takes-all politics. It exaggerates power. It sidelines millions of voters. It fuels instability. I'm not saying that proportional representation would solve every problem. I'm not unrealistic. But it would create politics that is more representative, more cooperative, and more democratic. And if democracy means representation, then electoral reform is not a technical issue. It is a democratic necessity. But I want to know what you think. Should the UK keep first past the post or move to proportional representation?
Move. Move. First past the post is fucking garbage.
Because the voting system we choose determines the politics we get, and that, in turn, helps deliver the economy we get. If we want a politics for people and a politics of care, delivering an economy of hope, then the way we elect government matters. Let us know your views in the comments. And if you found this useful, please like this video, share it, and subscribe. And also have a look at our other videos. There are hundreds available in playlists that we've got listed down below.
Whoops.
Were literally sent directly from this country to Palestine to do to Palestinian resistance to empire and Zionism what that had been done to the revolutionary forces in Ireland. And the connection summed up by none other than Sir Ronald Storrs, who was the first British Governor-General of Jerusalem, 1936, which was a year of revolt. Sir Ronald Storrs was asked, why is Britain supporting the Zionist movement? And he said, and I quote, because we want to create a loyal little Jewish Ulster in the Middle East to protect against a potential rising of Arabism against the empire, in other words, which was happening literally as they spoke. So it was a divide and rule tactic modelled on the deployment of sectarianism in Ireland to divide and rule, to set Catholic against Protestant. Zionism was deployed as a divide and rule tactic to set people against one another on a religious basis, to set Jewish people and Muslim people and Christian people at each other's throats, not to benefit Jewish people or to benefit anybody in the region, but to subjugate the region in the interests of empire. That is still what it's about. When we take, and we are right to take, the unique position that a state that is guilty of genocide, apartheid, that is based on the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians and is linked to a concerted, systematic design to divide and rule, to control the empire, that state does not have a
There you go.
to exist. That is not in any sense an anti-Semitic statement. It is the opposite. It is precisely because we understand that Zionism was about fermenting sectarian and racist divisions. And you think about the dehumanization of Palestinians and Arabs and Muslims, that is in fact the prerequisite for the genocide. How do you get away with committing a genocide against people? How has it always been done? How indeed was so-called famine, in fact a genocidal campaign, or other genocides, have always been based on the racist dehumanization of certain populations in the interests of capital and empire. The black and tans and the auxiliaries that have been used to brutally put down the revolutionary forces in this country during the revolutionary period were literally sent directly from this country to Palestine to do to Palestinian resistance to empire and Zionism what had been done to the revolutionary forces.
Back to the beginning. There you go, Flow Snake. Thank you, John. Thanks, Richard. News. Let us see. Oh dear God. You're welcome, Flow Snake. Anyone else, if you want to stop being mod, no pressure to be mod whatsoever, of course. But you can if you want to. Don't feel what the frickin' hell? Poco! Rejoice, comrades. Poco Carante. Hi, Poco. Do. Oh dear God. See if I can put something quickly on. Are you? Ooh, cool. Keep me up. Keep me posted. Poco. Ah. Oops. I'll be back before the end of this video, hopefully.
Thousands more taxpayers are moving to Scotland from the rest of the UK every year than leaving. A stark change which is boosting Scotland's tax base by hundreds of millions of pounds, new UK government figures have shown. The data covers the 2010 to 2011 tax year to the 2022-2023 tax year and was published on Tuesday following a request from the Scottish Government and Welsh Government to help inform understanding of how devolution across the UK affects migration within it. So the figures point to a clear change in migration pattern in the UK, with Scotland becoming an increasingly attractive destination for people choosing where to live and work. So let's break it down, bear with me, because we're going to get right into the numbers. Across the first 6 years of the data, which was 2010 to 2016, the number of taxpayers moving to Scotland from the rest of the UK and vice versa was relatively even. The Scottish Government figures show there was minimal levels of net migration to Scotland between minus 1,600 and plus 1,400 each year. But after 2017, and that's when the Scottish Government took full power over income tax, that changed everything. So in the most recent data, which covers 2022-23, there was a 73% increase on the number of UK taxpayers moving to Scotland compared to that 2010 period. And in absolute terms, 8,500 more taxpayers moved to Scotland from the rest of the UK than left in 2021 to 2022. And 6,500 more moved to Scotland than left in 2022-2023. This is really interesting data because it shows how more working taxpayers moving to Scotland is having an economic benefit, despite right-wing rhetoric about people fleeing the SNP tax regime. You've heard it all before. We've heard people like Murdo Fraser say, quote, the system is not attracting workers to Scotland, but now we know the exact opposite is true. So this should really put an end to quite a big Conservative attack line, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for the next FMQs when this comes up. This is going to be great. John Swinney's going to have something to really turn to that he can just, throw water on the fire, basically. I think the most interesting bit of it is where you've said that the recent data that covered 22-23, where there was a 73% increase on the number of taxpayers moving to Scotland, UK taxpayers. Because obviously that covers the period where the Scottish Government have taken control of income tax. And I think it shows that most fair-minded people can see the sense in people who have got more money paying more tax. I think it does show that that is a common sense decision. And I think it also debunks the myth that when you make the wealthy pay more tax, they leave. I like to think there's so many more reasons that people would want to stay in Scotland than just what the tax system is like. Yeah. And I think that most people who do have means to pay more tax in society do want to contribute if it's a country that they want to stay in for many reasons. So yeah, it definitely is. It's a massive thing that the other parties can use against that Tory line that we always hear.
And it's all about what you get for your tax as well.
Exactly,
it's all about that social contract where you are giving something to the state, you are getting something back from the state. And I think, Scotland is not a socialist country. It's not a country like the Nordics, but certainly there's more of a focus on well-being and supporting people. The real idea of like the welfare state being from cradle to grave, you are kind of looked after in that way. And there's a lot of policies that are very socially focused, things like the baby box, which is available to families, things like free prescriptions as well for everybody. That's not something that people get in other parts of the UK. You get a better performing NHS than in other parts of the UK. And so these things do make a difference. I mean, I think people living in Scotland, they maybe can take for granted these things because they're just part of your life. And if you're not a political journalist like us, you're not thinking about the policy. You're just seeing it happen and thinking, there we go. I think there's probably people who aren't aware that some of these benefits they get here are not something that's repeated south of the border. Another part of it, the Scottish child payment, which is having a major impact on reducing child poverty levels in Scotland. All of this makes a big difference. I've got family members who had lived in Scotland and moved down to England who previously complained about, oh, my tax is so much higher here than it would have been in England. Oh, what am I getting for it? And then moved to England and were like, oh, God, I've got to pay for my prescriptions now. I've got to pay all of these bridge tolls now and tunnel tolls. And I'm like, I told you so. I told you so.
The baby box is a massive one. Like, when I've talked to my family about that policy, they are absolutely staggered. Like, the amount of stuff that you get in it as well is just it's an incredible thing. And, yeah, you've mentioned a lot of policies that show that I think people feel that Scotland is a more caring nation. I think in a lot of ways. I think you've got another one is free dental checkups.
Oh, yeah.
That's something else you have to pay for in England. You can't go to the dentist without paying money in England.
I just had my wisdom teeth taken out, and my mum and dad, they couldn't believe the price. I mean, I was like, oh, this is expensive. Obviously, anything that you have to do at the dentist, you feel like it's expensive at the time, but they were like, that would have 4 times as much down here because they live in England. So I sort of took that, and I was more grateful for it. Though I'm not that grateful that they yanked my teeth out, you know what I mean?
No, that's a very painful experience to go through. But I think when you move from England to Scotland or Scotland to England, I think there's a few of us in the office who've come from down south to move up here. You do realise that you get a lot more things in Scotland that are a benefit to you. The free prescriptions, if you're a younger person, free bus travel for under 22s, the baby box. So just this, and the Scottish child payment if you're a low income family. So there's just so many things I think that make people stay that beyond just having to pay a bit more if you've got a bit more.
Yeah, I think. If I had the choice, I would always say for a better public service, for a more caring society, paying a little bit more tax is worth it, because when you really look at the difference of what the Tories go in on all the time about, oh my God, so much more tax here, unless you're really in the high tax bracket, it doesn't really make that much difference.
No, not really, no. And I remember being in Edinburgh where they had the big patriotic millionaires bus at the end, and with a view of the castle behind. A really good placement of a bus for a campaign. But yeah, they spoke a lot about how people who were involved in that campaign are people who have a lot of money, who are millionaires, who would just want to contribute to society, and they do want to pay more. There are people out there like that, despite what politicians will have you believe.
Totally. And if you want the NHS to be better, if you want the housing situation to be better, these are all things that Labour and the Tories talk about all the time, and you have to accept that you might have to pay a little bit more tax.
Yep, absolutely.
These things, they don't grow on trees.
No.
I return. Hello. You charged yet? Haha! Charged. There you go. Fantastic. Oh, I was wondering what one was on these. These are a few years old. Super Hubby gave me to them. First order socks. How am I doing? An hour and a half. Right. Right. Home. Oh, right. Wait a minute. Boom. What we have now. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Hail Satan. God is dead.
You'll know my house when you walk down the block, and you get a funny feeling that the place might be haunted. My ex-boy's body's buried in the back, and even my wife fancies are painted black. When I bust in the church, I'm making them turn their heads. touch their pearls. I'm with some guy making love in the back, and all the clothes on the floor are all dyed black. Magic, oh, my magic is black. Magic, oh, my magic is black. Magic, oh, my magic is black. Well, maybe one day I'll wear a dress of white, close my legs and open my heart to Christ.
That is the one my playlist.
Like an angel, I'll never talk back. But till this is over, I'm gonna be wearing, you know the color. Black magic, oh, my magic is black magic, oh, my magic is black magic, oh, my magic is magic, oh, my magic is black magic, oh, my magic is black magic, oh, my magic is black magic, black magic, black magic, black magic,
Plastic from bees. Plastic from... Okay, you've lost me, Francis. So this is the main game that I play. Oxygen not included. It is great. If you have a chance, buy it. It is amazing. It's really chill. It's good for STEM-minded people, especially engineers, oddly enough, like Francis is. Oh my god. Patrick on question time. Oh. Look! It's Lord Orford when he was still a Tory. Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh god. The best way I can show you, Jim, is if I can do the game overlay from Discord and you can watch me play and see me fuck up. It's really quite good. I love it. Red Rust 308 recommended it to me and they were correct. I love it. Thank you, Red, by the way. Everyone go and follow Red Rust. They are awesome. They were playing bass tonight. They are a really good bassist and a musician as well. Oh, I've got their album. It's really good. Red's really good people. Yeah, it's on Steam, that's how I got it. I got the DLC of my last payment, so back on the 3rd. So all told, the main base game, which you need first, then the DLC, is about 50-ish. I bought the base game last year. 9 months? 10 months ago? Something like that. And I got the DLC a couple of weeks ago. 3 weeks ago now. 3. Because it's the 20th, well, technically it's the 25th. Oh! Past your bedtime. Thank you for dropping by, Edward. Always a pleasure. Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds. Stay based. Free Palestine. And laugh at Labour getting absolutely kicked in the teeth in May. Ha ha ha. Or laugh at Donald, which is always easy, because he keeps on fucking up. Or just being an absolute fucking deranged lunatic. Let's see if there's anything in the news. Always a good thing. You always... Let us see. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Fuck it. Let's do John. He does indeed, Jim. Yeah. It is. You are technically correct, Poco. Yes. That is why it's called hydrophobia. When you have rabies. Ugh. Take it away, Professor Curtis.
It is just over 6 weeks until the holder election on May the 7th. But will this be an election that brings great change to the Scottish Parliament? Or are we expecting more of the same? Well, joining me today to talk about that is John Curtis.
Good day to you.
Kicking things off then, what is the state of play? How are we looking going into the holder election?
Well, I mean, according to the opinion polls, we're looking at the SNP being well ahead, but being well ahead in a heavily fragmented environment. So let's just focus on the constituency vote, and let's say a little bit about this vote tomorrow. SNP 35 on average in the polls, Reform at about 18, Labour a little bit behind at around 17. The Liberal Democrats and the
hydrophobia is the fear of water, generally. Thalassophobia is deep water or deep undersea. Technically, they can both. They're both types of fears of water, but I think with thalassophobia, it's more of the depth part of it, because or a fear of what lives down there. Blue from Overly Sarcastic Productions has thalassophobia, which is fear of the deep, and hydrophobia is a symptom that you've got rabies. Do you have thalassophobia? Oh dear, do not go diving. I can't go diving for health reasons. The pressure would do me in. Yeah. I'm not scared of the deep. My body can't handle it. And I can't go high either. No. All kinds of eldritch abominations. Don't blame you, really. The eldritch abominations mostly died out a good few million or billion years ago. I keep on meaning to bring my book out. Sea Monsters. It was a BBC series from a while ago. Maybe I should take photos of it and put them on the Discord. Because some of those creatures are fucking terrifying. Like mosasaurs and megalodon. And a wide array of weird looking sharks. They haven't changed for millions of years. Billions of years. Only that. If it ain't broke and all that nonsense. Cthulhu warriors, real people.
Conservatives both running at about 10%. On the constituency vote, the Greens at about 8%, and of course in the end we know the Greens won't fight a lot of the constituencies. For them the crucial number is the list vote, where they're running at around 13%, and some of that of course is coming from SNP constituency votes. The SNP is running at about 30% on the list vote. So a number of points to make. One is that the SNP is therefore something like 17 points ahead, according to the polls, of their nearest competitor, which happens to be Reform, but and then it's 18 points ahead of Labour. So the SNP do enjoy a very substantial lead. However, that doesn't mean that the SNP are doing anything like as well in terms of votes as they did back in 2021, which now, it's eons ago. I mean, Boris Johnson was still Prime Minister, right? Nicola Sturgeon was still First Minister. It's a dim and distant past. It's when the Conservatives were still a strong force on both sides of the border.
Not anymore. And it looks like Labour's going that way as well. Serves them right. They fucking deserve it. Don't be garbage, Labour. Bloodbath, anyone?
But then, I mean, the SNP got 48% of the constituency vote, 40% of the list vote. So one thing that people are constantly saying is, how is it possible for the SNP, having been in power for nearly 20 years, and in our view, at least according to some people's views, haven't done that good a job, how is it possible that they might still be able to win an election?
Correct,
The
Jim.
answer is not because they're hanging on to their vote. Right? They are not. The SNP vote is well down, but so also is the Conservative vote by roughly the same amount. And of course, they came second last time. Also down, despite having done very badly in 2021, are the Labour Party. The only parties that are gaining, well, one is obviously Reform, but two, the Liberal Democrats and the Greens, which is illustrative of a broader point that isn't confined to Scotland. It's the fragmentation.
Okay, this one is old. This is from... Where is it? Do. That's... Here, it's here. Opening browser. Boom. Okay, this is Lord Ashcroft. So, the orange is the Lib Dems, obviously. This is... most of these seats, as you can tell, are SNP. I'll zero in on this one. There we go. This is two different seats that have been smashed together. So this bit here, the longer bit here, is Cathcart, and this is Glasgow South side. This bit here used to be Nicola's seat. And those two have just been fucking forced together through the boundary changes. Mine's is weird. Where the fuck am I? Right. Is that me there? Or am I this one? Oh, here I'm here. This one here. This one here. Mine's has been lopped off. It's been cut right down the fucking middle. So my current MSP has been shifted to the west. That way. Hang on. I got that right. No, that's north. They've been He's been forced that way, essentially. And my Scottish Green Party member, Iris Dwayne, is going to run against him. So it's Maryhill and Kelvin that Bob Doris will be representing. I have been grouped in with Easterhouse, so Glasgow, Easterhouse and Springburn is the new seat. So who the fuck am I going to get? But this one is weird. The fact that this was held by Nicola Sturgeon. This one wasn't. This one was kind of split. So the main MSP was SNP, but 3 of the main list ones for Glasgow Cathcart were Tories. So I think that's what's happening here with this new seat. Kind of sucks. But this is Lord Ashcroft polling. We will find out at the end of the day. Well, in 6 weeks, essentially. Don't you worry, your lass will be covering it. Trying to end myself by streaming for over 8 hours. I'm going to be killing myself, I think. Don't worry, I will be taking comfort breaks from the politics. Showing funny little videos and shit. That is a very sexy map, isn't it, Poco? I'm more stunned about this one. This is Fife. This is Labour Heartland, apparently. And the Lib Dems are going to get it? Help, please? Weird. Just weird. That's Edinburgh. Don't worry about that one. This lot here, like the Highlands and like Orkney, Shetland, being Lib Dem, nothing new there. This bit being Lib Dem, nothing new there. This bit being Lib Dem, very fucking new. Very weird. Where am I? Give me a minute. Where is John? There's Pearce there. This seat. This one. This is the First Minister's. This is John Swinney's. Yeah, it's Edinburgh. If in doubt, ask a Scottish person. So there is me, there is Beth as Pickleby, or 27 Club, that is David. We pronounce it. Obviously, Edinburgh is just south of where I am. But Fife going with them? No idea why. Well.
Of our politics, and that indeed it is the parties who are relatively unimportant in 2021, where in one instance didn't exist, that are the ones who are making progress, and as it were, the traditional parties of Scottish government are all down. So therefore, the reason why the SNP have this lead is not because they themselves are doing particularly well. Actually, in terms of Westminster voting intention, the SNP is barely any better than they were than the 30% that they had in 2024. But because of the fragmentation of the vote, and in particular the way in which Reform have fragmented the Unionist vote, all their opponents are doing at least as badly in terms of comparison with 2021, and therefore the SNP emerge in the lead. But we are talking about an SNP for which there is much less enthusiasm, much less support than there was at the time of the last Holyrood election.
And do you think there's a chance that the SNP might actually be unseated?
No.
No.
Frankly, no. I mean...
For fuck's sake, we're the best part of 20 points ahead of Reform, who are second. And the Greens are second on the list. Labour are a dim and distant third. It's a toss-up between the Lib Dems and Tories being fourth and fifth. It's looking like the Tory constituencies are going to go. As you can tell, you could mostly the Tories are usually in the border regions or up near Aberdeenshire. And that, as you can tell, is just a sea of yellow. So it looks like the Tories are going to be losing all their fucking constituency seats. We will find out, of course. And if that happens, you'll see me giggling like a fucking lunatic on my stream. So, as it currently stands, Murdo Fraser's in the central bit. See where I pointed out Fife? He's just over a bit from that towards the central belt, really. Did mid-Scotland, and Fife is his list. He's on, is the list he's on. Russell Finlay has a seat, but his is in Edinburgh, and that's looking like he might actually lose his fucking constituency. Get wrecked, Russell. So that is the current Scottish Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party, Russell Finlay. So he might lose his seat, and he's probably on the list as well. So he might cling on through the list part. But it looks like they're going to lose all their fucking constituencies. I can't remember how many they've got actually. It's from the old Scottish name of Dunedin. That's what it was called, the Hill Fort of Eden, essentially. So that's where we get Edinburgh from. Like there's also Dumbarton, so the Hill Fort on the back, which is a smaller river like connected to the Clyde, but it's gone now. It's fucking... So that's where we got Dumbarton from as well. So if you hear anyone talking about Dunedin, they're talking about old Edinburgh, really old. We're talking centuries at this point. That's Edinburgh.
The truth is that what the SNP have essentially been able to do is to hang on to, broadly speaking, the much diminished vote that they got in 2024, and which in 2024 was not enough to defend most of the Westminster seats, because then Labour were on 35%. But now the Labour Party, of course, is in deep electoral trouble UK-wide, and that deep electoral trouble UK...
Their own fault. Fuck them. Seriously, John, fuck them. They've brought this on themselves. They deserve the fucking kicking. They really do. The electoral kicking, not an actual kicking. But with it's going to be an electoral bloodbath with any fucking luck. And I'll keep on saying this, they fucking deserve it. A lot of the policies that they're promoting that weren't in the manifesto, we wouldn't have voted. If they were actually in the party manifesto, a lot of Scottish voters wouldn't have voted for them back in 2024. I kept on saying that to people around here. Do not trust them. You know exactly what they were like. We had them for fucking decades and nothing fucking happened. They didn't represent us whatsoever. Then we got an SNP MP and an SNP MSP. Things started to get fixed. Things started to get better. No, but we have to vote Labour to get rid of the Tories. What Tories? You live in Glasgow. We do not return Tories to Westminster. We know exactly what they're like. And that's all you'll be getting with this fucking form, this current Labour. Was I listened to? No. But people have come and said to me, sorry Katie, we should have listened to you. I've freaking warned yous. So hopefully with any luck, they won't be voting Labour in 6 weeks' time. I don't like being Cassandra, I really don't. I just wish people would listen to me when I tell them what it's going to be like. But we have to vote for them to make sure the Tories get kicked. You live in Glasgow, we don't vote Tory here. Christ's sake. Don't you worry. Rejoice, comrades. The resident philosopher. Hi, Scribby. Jim's birthday. He's old now. Look, it's the Professor, Scribby. Talking about how all the unionist parties are going to get kicked. Like they deserve. And it looks like the Tories are going to lose other constituency seats. Ah! Yes, the actual Scribby. Praise be. I still haven't read what you've given me, Scribby. I'll get there, don't worry. I've got a few other things to read as well. Some things from Andy, some things from Specs, and a couple of things from yourself. Once you're frozen, one of the means was doing stuff. Oddly enough, there is a lot of us, Flow Snake. Don't get me wrong, some of us speak Gaelic up here, and some of us speak Broad Scots. And we like to call he's Manfrog. He is Manfrog. He's a fud. Or a bawbag. Bawbag seems more fitting really than a fud. A fucking useless dickhead, by the way. Fud.
UK-wide has basically also carried over north of the border. Despite Anas Sarwat's best endeavours, despite him saying this is not about the record of the UK government, it's about the Scottish government, unfortunately for him, even many of those people who voted for Labour in 2024, A, do think it's about the UK government, because B, they don't think the UK government is meeting their expectations. Labour are badly crippled by the perceived that
Some of them like MAGA. Some of them don't. No, like there's still some in the back benches that don't like Trumpers or the MAGA folks. Some of them do, down at Westminster at least. A lot of the ones up here in Scotland, in Holyrood, they kind of really don't like it and ask that. They do have some level of autonomy up here, somewhat. They have more autonomy than the Labour ones do, funny enough. Not that this Labour government's authoritarian at all. Obviously they're not. So they do have a level of autonomy, and a lot of them don't actually answer that question when they get asked it. Cowards, really. I'm trying to think of anyone that's any of the Scottish Tories that have actually said one way or another. They say like a NATO member and things like that, but they don't say one way or another. But there's ones down in Westminster who are full-heartedly behind what Trump. They like Trump and shit like that. More reform now. They literally say our best ally and everything and all that fucking bollocks. Like Manfrog. Nigel, get wrecked.
perceived record down south. Equally, the Conservatives, of course, reform are a problem for them. It's the Conservative vote that over the course of the 2024 election and now through to now, that reform have above all taken. The Conservative Party in British-wide polls is in a lower position, the record low of 24% that they had in 2024. So both the two principal opponents are in deep trouble. And because, the SNP, in contrast, yes, much diminished, much down, but at least they're able to hang on to that third or so of the vote that they had. And again, this has always been potentially one of the relative strengths of the national.
I like that one. Was it yourself that told me that in the first place? I do, Kyle. I like that one. It's rather fun, isn't it? You see him more in fucking the Oval Office than you do in Clacton. Oh, question time. I got that wrong when I was doing it on Thursday there. It was question time wasn't in Clacton on Thursday back. It was in shit. Where was it? Fuck. Wasn't it Guildford? Croydon. It was in Croydon. I got it wrong. I put it was on in Clacton on Thursday, but it wasn't. It was Croydon. They're in Clacton on Thursday. That'll be fun. Technically, today is Wednesday, so we've got the last debate night before Parliament finishes up here. Like the prorogue, so it'll start on Thursday. So today will be the last day that Holyrood actually runs. Then the election campaign can start proper. Debate night is from Hoyk tonight. That should be fun.
Movement north of the border, which is that essentially the SNP do dominate the national side of the argument. Now, it's true that given that support for independence is still running around the 50% mark, the SNP are they're only picking up around 2/3 of the support of those people who voted yes, and some of them are voting for the Greens, and some of them are still inclined to vote for Labour. But for those people who believe in independence, and if they wish to stick with indicating their support for independence in this election, they don't have a great deal of choice. Alva's disappeared. The Greens are a potential option, but they may well not fight many of the constituencies. So you might find yourself voting for the SNP nonetheless. Whereas the problem for the Labour Party is, if I'm a unionist and I'm happy with Keir Starmer, well, and I still want to remain true to my unionist beliefs, I can vote for the Tories, I can vote for the Democrats, and I can vote for Reform. I've got plenty of options and still be expressing a unionist point of view. So, and you know, one of the weaknesses of unionism in Scotland has always been that it's relatively politically fragmented. That may well particularly matter in this election. But, you know, I mean, with a 18-point lead, I mean, something really dramatic has to happen. And it's very difficult to identify, what that's going to be. It will be an...
What do I think? A lot of people here in Scotland aren't liking what Labour are doing. Coming after Granny, we are an older population up here. So, freezing Granny, fun. Coming after people like me. I'm safe. My benefit comes from the Scottish Government now. But there's many people who are still on PIP here who haven't been transferred over yet to adult disability payment. And they're absolutely terrified right now. And with that fucking ghoul in Caxton House, I don't fucking blame them. Plus, myself and Super Hubby, we get universal credit. He gets money for looking after me. And we're still kind of worried. Like there's a huge question mark hanging over huge portions of the benefit that we get. Pat, if you can hear me, leave us the fuck alone. Is your council... You're Sussex, aren't you? Suffolk. Yeah, you had Therese coffee, didn't you? Poor Jim. At least she's gone now. Suffolk, I thought that. Over 100 councils. I can't remember all of them. Obviously we've got Birmingham. I'll be looking at that with a close eye. And I assume so will Kev. It'll be fun to see how that can... Coastal, yeah. Well, you don't need to... I don't know who you've got now. Is it a Labour one you've got? Or is it another Tory?
Unknown if indeed between now and May the 7th there's going to be sufficient movement or sufficient error in the polls for us suddenly to be saying, oh, actually the SNP aren't the biggest party after all.
Looking at the other parties that are also gaining votes at the moment, like Greens and Reform, and could potentially lead to some upset in how we understand Holyrood. I mean, is it Do you think it's likely that those votes are actually going to materialise, or are we
Be
going to see
careful.
something like in previous elections where the Greens have maybe been a little bit overrepresented in the polling, and then when it comes to voting day, not so much?
Well, let's take them each in turn. I mean, so far as the Greens are concerned, I mean, certainly, granted the polls might be slightly out, but the Greens never obviously suffered from their involvement in the Butte House Agreement. They've tended, if anything, always to be slightly higher, and they do have the fortunate backdrop. Although the wash across the border seems to be limited, but there is some signs of some wash across the border. It is the fact that Zach Polanski has, as leader of the party down south, has managed to, basically Green support was 9% when he became leader. It's currently running at about 15%, and they are now, become non-trivial players, and that certainly provides an environment which is helpful to the Greens, and to that extent at least I would be surprised if the Greens don't indeed manage to put in what could well be their best performance yet in a Scottish Parliament election. The case of the Liberal Democrats is partly just a question of recovery from what really was a disaster in 2021. The party is not doing that well down south, but arguably the party's performance in 2021 was rather less than you might have expected, even with Liberal Democrats around 12-13% across the UK as a whole. And of course, for them, what will be crucial is their ability to do well in individual constituencies. They're very heavily dependent on that, and then also picking up a certain amount on the list vote. But when they got down to 5% in 2021, that is often insufficient to start picking up list seats. If they're at 10%, they're going to start picking up list seats where they don't have local strength. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to expect those two parties to do relatively well. In the case of Reform, Reform support is nothing like on the scale that has been in recent British polls, though its true support for Reform is down in British polls conducted in March. It's down by a couple of points, and that's kind of part of a slightly longer term trend. And we've not had much in the way of Scottish polling since that more recent drop kicked in. So maybe Reform support is going to fall north of the border, but that's still an open question. But basically, certainly when Reform are running at or close to 30%, the party being able to get just over half of that in a Holyrood election would not seem an unrealistic expectation. And certainly, the evidence of the English local elections last year, limited as they were, was that basically the story the polls were telling them, which is Reform are running at 30%.
Guess whose hat's that? If you can tell me where you find that up here, I'd be very, very grateful. I could see Super Hubby wearing it. Maybe around the house. I'd wear it outside, obviously, because look at it. Yeah, make America go away. Love it. I will not give it away in case anyone wants to guess whose hat that is. You know who you are if you're still here. Oh, fucking hell. Hopefully your mum will not vote for them, Jim. With any fucking luck. Christ, I'd rather vote Labour or this. I don't know what your mum's like. Ideally we'd want her to vote Green. But I'm not entirely sure if she would. Depends what age your mum is. Where's the other one? Give me it, give me it, give me it, give me it. Da-da-da-da-da. Ah, where is it? Oh. That'll be a vote winner. The pair of yous can get wrecked. Careful, no family voting. Moaning minis, the lot of them.
percent seemed to be roughly right because they did indeed win more votes than anybody else in the county council elections.
And given the kind of more fractious nature of the election, as you were sort of saying, also the fact that it seems like, according to Ipsos anyway, there's a degree that people might still be changing their minds up into the last second. I mean, does that present problems or make polling a little bit more difficult to track accurately?
Yeah, well, people might change their minds, etc., etc. On the other hand, it's been pretty stable since September. Not much has changed north of the border since then. So even though individual voters may be changing their minds, you know, the net effect's been approximately zero. Of course, you know, the big thing which has long been hanging over politics and now has become more and more a reality is the geostrategic situation. Of course, probably good news for all the politicians is that the worst effects of that are not going to kick in until much later this year. But it's not, I mean, so far the British polling doesn't suggest that there's been some sudden recovery and support for the Labour Party in the wake of the invasion of Iran by, or the aerial bombing of Iran by the United States and Israel. It doesn't so far seem to be having that much impact on the domestic environment. So at the moment, at least, yeah, you know, there might be some movement. And, you know, we do wait to see who can fight the most effective campaign. But, you know, I mean, if, for example, the Labour Party is going to come up with a game-changing campaign, they're going to have to do more than say, vote for us because that lot are useless. Which is effectively, I think, if I were required to come up with a one-sentence summary of Anna Sawal's campaign, is vote Labour to show you don't like the SNP. Well, the trouble is, why Labour? I could vote for other parties, but that, you know, but what are you going to do? How are you going to do things better? And I'm not sure that so far. I mean, you know, Anna Sawal has talked about getting rid of the quangos. Well, I mean, Margaret Thatcher used to talk about getting rid of the quangos. It's never happened. Reform are talking about getting rid of the quangos. It never happens. So to that extent, at least, I mean, at the moment, I don't see something that says, even though you like Keir Starmer, here is an exciting menu of how we will run Scotland and make it a different and better country that might...
I don't see that happening. They're polling third for a reason. And he still thinks he's going to be First Minister. Yeah, right, Anas.
In still voters. And of course, that points also to the fact that that's also something that's missing from the picture of the UK Labour government. It doesn't have a vision. It doesn't have a sense of direction. And so again, you know, in the absence of that, the Scottish Labour Party certainly needs to come up with something, but so far it's not obvious what that is.
There's this big surge of establishment party versus anti-establishment party.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like
pretty much
some of the establishment parties haven't really responded to that or changed their messaging around it to, I guess, address the fact that these other smaller parties are kind of coming more in cost of living, more in popular ideas, they look a little bit lost.
Well, I'm not sure the SNP have looked lost. I mean, John Swinney has, said, reform I don't like them, and held his conference to say, what are we going to do about it? I think in truth, however, the brutal truth is, and this is something that SNP activists need to understand, is that it is the rise of reform that has paved the way for the SNP to remain in government, probably with, not necessarily a majority, but with, not losing that many seats, because reform have taken hardly any votes off at all from the SNP, at least amongst the people who voted for the SNP in 2024. They've taken votes off the Tories, as I've already said. They are also more of a problem for Labour north of the border, because Labour were relatively successful in taking votes from the Conservatives in 2024, much more successful than they were in England and Wales. They are more vulnerable to reform. They're losing about 18% of their support, 24 support to reform, which is a much higher figure than it ever has been south of the border, which now is only running at about 10%. Much as the rise of reform, in that case to about 15%, paved the way.
Rejoice, comrades, Reza Lindsay. Hi, Reza. Look, it's the professor.
For Labour's the parliamentary landslide, because reform took most of the votes off the Conservatives, meant the Conservative vote fell, that therefore Labour, who were often not making a great deal of progress, were able to pick up seats. Truth is, again in Scotland, the Reform are taking an awful lot of votes off the Tories, they're taking votes off Labour, so the SNP, with a much diminished share of the vote, are still well ahead of their opponents. Reform are not strong enough to be likely to pick up very much, if anything, in the way of constituency seats. This is all good news for the SNP, all right? But you need to understand that the rise of reform has indeed helped to pave the way. Otherwise, as far as the Greens are concerned, John Swinney's tactics are very, very clear, which is you need to vote, the claim is you need to vote for the SNP because I want a majority, because if you get a majority, then I have the backdrop against which to be able to pursue a referendum. Now, the realpolitik of that is I don't want Yes supporters voting for somebody other than the SNP. That's understandable, because I think the days when, in 2011, the SNP were able to get a majority by getting a substantial share of the vote from people on the other side of the constitutional divide. Those days are over. Only about 10% of no supporters are willing to vote for the SNP or the Greens at the moment. So John Swinney, if he's going to move the SNP above the 35% they're on the constituency vote at the moment, then he's basically fishing in Yes waters. And therefore, I think his strategy is that's the way in which he's trying to deal with the Greens, is to say, you have to vote for us if you want a referendum. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, sure. Labour, UK-wide have been struggling because they've spent a long time focusing on reform and lots of policies, particularly on immigration. But Labour have been chasing the socially conservative vote ever since Keir Starmer became leader back in March 2020. That was Labour's deliberate strategy. What they're now finding south of the border is that actually it's the Greens that are doing most of the damage. So yes, Labour certainly are struggling with dealing with a fragmented environment. In Wales, by the way, it's Plaid that's doing all the damage. So Labour, yes, certainly struggling to position themselves in such a way in order to try to deal with this dramatic loss of support. The Conservatives they face an existential challenge from reform, and what's going on in Scotland is just part of that broader story.
And obviously in Scotland, we'll at least have a slightly different story in the sense that how we elect our parliamentarians is different. We have the list vote and the constituency vote.
Yep.
South of the border, not a problem, but that's...
I try not to say never, Jim. I do hope within my lifetime. Plenty more years left in me at this point. But yeah, not anytime soon, I don't think. Unless something really drastic happens. Just saying. But yeah, I don't see it happening within a decade. unfortunately.
Going to impact, I would assume, how people approach this election.
Maybe. It's certainly going to affect the outcome. Right, so the SNP, right, they're, as we said, 36% on the constituency vote, around 30% on the list. 10, 12, 13 points down. But if we make some if the geography of party support doesn't dramatically change, so the places where the SNP do relatively well are the same places as in 2021, and the places where the Conservatives do relatively well are more or less the same places in 2021. What you discover, if you work that through, is that the SNP could still end up with 60 seats, so 4 down on 2021, but still the dominant party at Westminster. Now, every single one of those seats is a constituency seat that's projected that they should win. But it does mean, therefore, the SNP will have, 46, 47% of the seats and 35% of the vote. It's going to be a very disproportionate outcome. But the point is that under first past the post, if you are a party with a geographically evenly spread vote, as the SNP's vote, broadly speaking, is a bit weaker in the borders, but beyond that, it pretty much is much the same from Wick to Stranraer, okay? And so if you've got a geographically evenly spread vote, and you are 18 points ahead of your nearest opponent, you don't have to be a clever mathematician to work out, well, hang on, so they're that far ahead. And they're getting around 35% pretty much everywhere. That means they have to be first in most places. Okay, there might be a few places where somebody can get 40% of the vote, but that also means these parties are going to be very weak elsewhere. And that essentially is the picture. And in fact, I mean, interestingly, I've seen posters that say, Reform are the only party that can stop the SNP. And I've seen other posters that say it's only the Labour Party that can stop the SNP. I suspect that both those posters are wrong. That actually the two parties that really do stand between the SNP and being able to get an overall majority, and the two parties that perhaps might be able to do well enough to push the SNP below 60 seats, are the Conservatives and the Democrats. Because those two parties do have some
have you seen their
fiefdoms.
polls?
The Conservatives obviously in the borders and to some degree in the northeast. The Liberal Democrats were scattered all over the place from Northern Ireland to Edinburgh Western. But also, of course, particularly they have their eyes on a couple of seats in the Highlands, where they hold Caithness at the Westminster level. Inverness they won in 2024. They have been here before. And the seats that they currently hold, they're very, very solid in. So it's those battles that could end up being crucial, because it's the constituency battles that matter, and it's the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats who just have enough fiefdoms and potential fiefdoms that they may or may not hang on to, that could make all the difference. I mean, Labour, in contrast, their vote is somewhat geographically concentrated. It's not so strong in rural Scotland as it is in the central belt. But because Labour are so weak at the moment, you're going, not sure. I mean, beyond Edinburgh Southern again, not quite sure what they're going to hang on to. And of course, the difficulty here for anybody who's trying to anticipate the outcome of the election is, frankly, the opinion polls are not going to tell us whether the Liberal Democrats are going to win seats in the Highlands. They won't necessarily tell us the fine detail of which seats the Conservatives can or cannot hang on to in the northeast. That will be beyond the power of most of the party. We might get some MRP polling that maybe will help us a bit on this, but to be honest, to that extent at least, that's where the uncertainty is already probably still going to be in place on May the 7th. But it is crucial. So, crucial thing to realise, yes, supposedly we have a PR system, but 73 out of 129 seats are first past the post, and the first past the post element could well produce a highly disproportionate result, which the list element will not be sufficient to reverse. I mean, that said, the list element will ensure that everybody else gets roughly their fair share of what's left, but everybody will be underrepresented compared with what they might otherwise have expected. The other thing, of course, about which there's a lot of speculation is about tactical voting, whether or not there'll be tactical voting against the SNP. The answer is yes, almost undoubtedly. But what people tend to forget, there already was quite a lot in 2021. So it's already baked into the baseline. And there was quite a lot in 2024 as well. So the point is there will have to be more tactical voting that is more effectively distributed. And given how fragmented the landscape now is, voters may well struggle to work out who it is they should be voting for locally. I mean, in 2024, many voter who voted Conservative in 2019 clearly worked out that although the Conservatives had been second in 2024, actually Labour looked like the best bet for defeating the SNP, given what the polls were saying. But that message is no longer there. Okay, so you can see why actually, yes, it could be important, but remember it's already there. So you've got to get more of it, and the circumstances may not be propitious for those who are hoping that some kind of informal unionist understanding amongst voters will significantly reduce the SNP tally.
So you don't think the Greens pose much of a threat to...
Not in the constituencies, no. Sure, on the list, yeah, but I mean, frankly, the SNP are extremely unlikely to pick up a single list seat.
And other constituencies that we should be kind of looking to for, maybe being markers of what to expect?
Not really, no. I mean, you could go to anywhere in the Central Belt and you'll roughly... I mean, I was actually doing something this morning. What is it? Yes, I can find you the new constituencies where the outcome in 2021 was almost exactly mirrored the fact that the SNP were, what is it,
I'm one of the new seats,
26, 27 points ahead of basically both Conservative and Labour on the constituency vote, because they were virtually identical. So at the top of my head, I think Edinburgh Northern might be the seat that's closest to the Scotland-wide result. Cunningham South wasn't that far off.
That's your sure.
And there are one or two others that don't immediately call to mind. So you could kind of go there and take a look, and just on the basis of, these are the places which were closest to being representative of Scotland in 2021. But, broadly speaking, we are talking about that swathe of Scotland that the SNP won in 2024 and where they need to try and hang on to in 2026. And that is the vast bulk of Scotland.
And I've actually written here, kind of as a wrapping up question, to say it's too early to make a prediction, but it seems quite confident that the SNP will be taking this election.
Yeah, I mean, it will be a dramatic surprise if anybody other than John Swinney is elected as First Minister by the next Parliament. What is still open is just how well the SNP do. And, while I've talked about the number of 60, I could perfectly well see, even if the polls are right, given some of the potential constituency outcomes, it might end up being 55, maybe even slightly lower than that. And that's a big difference. 60 means a parliament in which the SNP are dominant, and doing a deal with either the Democrats or the Greens on any piece of legislation will normally get it over the line. 55, and certainly much less than 55, that's tougher. You may, on some, depending on how many seats they get, maybe the Liberal Democrats won't quite have enough to take you over the line. So you are forced to deal with the Greens. So the further the SNP are away from 65, the more difficult running that parliament will be. And that I think is still a real battle. And of course, what's certainly true, I certainly don't think we know who's going to come second at the moment. And while, in terms of the way Hollywood works, there isn't an official leader of the opposition, and arguably the who comes second doesn't matter quite so much. But certainly symbolically, it would be, I think, Labour's woes would increase if indeed they didn't at least reclaim second place in these elections. But at the moment, there's no guarantee they'll do so.
Okay. Okay, I've been going for 2.5 hours. I think I might actually end it there. Sorry you've joined in late, Reza. I'm trying to keep it under 3 hours just to pace myself a bit. I'll be starting to build up now the closer we get to the 7th of May. So towards mid-April, so in the next sort of month really, I'll probably be doing 4 or 5 hour streams leading up to like 6 hour streams at the end of April. Then Thursday the 7th, yeah, mega stream. Mm. Don't worry, I will be taking breaks throughout it, and I'll have snacks. Lots and lots of snacks. You know, like chicken nuggets and mini sausage rolls and things like that. Don't worry, I will give you hope, Reza. I have new stream suggestion channel. Feel free to post anything in it. Anything whatsoever that you would like this last to react to. Please no Destiny or Vosh or anyone like that. But any sort of right-wingers that we can laugh at. Always fun. Let's see who we can go and raid, shall we? Sorry, YouTube comrades, I still haven't figured out how to raid out there yet. Ooh, Gnome's going. Let's go to Gnome. Please be Gnome. How long has my favourite gnome been going for? Oh, he's still got a couple of hours left.
I give a shit. I give a shit.
If this is your dream of running a hotel, then how about manning up and look like fucking owners?
We are. This is fucking unacceptable.
Say something nice. Say something nice. What do I have to say that's nice? He knew what it was. He knew what was he knew what was in his fridge. He knew it needed to go away. At least, you know what? I'm gonna say something nice. This one and this one, they don't give a fuck. They're like sitting there making fucking excuses. They're looking down. They're looking ashamed. They're looking sad. They're looking like dad is yelling at them. This one, at least, he's trying. He's drunk off his ass. But at least he's showing a little bit of fucking spine. He's showing that he gives at least a modicum of a shit.
Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to, Kenny. Stay based. Free Palestine. And fingers crossed that the unionist parties get scalped in May. Metaphorically, of course. No violence.
This one I might be able to turn into someone
I'll be
useful.
back later today.
These two need to be taken out back and shot. But this one, the one in the middle, I could see him being somewhat useful.
Bye-bye.
At least this guy is baffled. Right. This guy has something. Then they say, don't earn it. Impossible challenge found. At least this guy is baffled. You know what needed to go away after he served it, after he stood their hands unwashed, mold all over his fucking place? No, exactly. It's like, this guy, he has the same vibe. This guy has the same